Hi, I'm Dr. Corinne Wickens, and in this video, I talk about lesson planning for and with conceptual vocabulary instruction. So, what most important in thinking about your use and teaching with conceptual vocabulary instruction is what's your purpose? What do you want to accomplish? What do you want students to be able to do and learn? Do you want to activate background knowledge? Do you want to scaffold and develop? Or do you want to review and assess? And which of those key purposes are going to determine how and which tool you use or how you might use which tool. So I am going to describe and discuss those three purposes with a couple of specific different tools. And this is not to say that there is one right and final answer, but based on the efficiency and given the fact that time, four-letter word, one of our biggest four-letter words in education, time. And so when we have limited amount of time, we need to figure out what is the best use of these tools that, as it matches our purpose, because purpose and use, are interchangeable. So the best use matches your intended purpose. So in this case, I really recommend word webs, partly because they are so easy and that we can incorporate multiple students and ideas and background and experiences in word webs. List group label is an expansion of word webs, where we then organize these ideas from instead of just a general open spider web, we have a list, then we're grouping, and then we're labeling, and then organizing into a concept map. So as a brainstorm activity, list group label is really effective as well, especially when we are using a student generated list. But maybe we need to help develop students' background knowledge. So vocabulary squares is one of those that I really, really like for that. So because of its multiple attributes, whether we're examples and non-examples, the image, the personal paraphrase, so that with a vocabulary square, we're not expecting students to, potentially have a lot of background knowledge, and it doesn't really work very well as an assessment tool. It really great to help students then develop their knowledge of key concepts. Similarly, concept definition map works really great in that same case, because we're delimiting and defining overarching categories, comparison contrast terms, characteristics, functions, or attributes, and examples. So it really helps develop students' understanding of a key idea. And then review and assess. Yes, we can use concept circles, for instance, to scaffold and develop their knowledge, but I really like it as an assessment tool, because now they are taking terms that we've already been talking about in class, and they're trying to then determine how well they understand it by, can they create an overarching category concept? Can they distinguish what doesn't belong? Can they add another one? And well, sometimes I've only had one category filled in the circle, and they have to come up with another three, depending on what kind of challenge I want to provide. Similarly, semantic feature analysis is another one of those that can either be used really well to develop students' background knowledge or to assess. And for me, because of its really explicit plus minus, I really love it as an assessment tool. And so you see this grid format here. And as I mentioned, a list group label and its vocabulary instruction video is when I have a teacher generated list, it becomes a really powerful formative tool as assessment, because now I want students to demonstrate how these words and terms fit together. And I have particular expectations about how they might do that. If they are terms that might have more flexibility, I want students then to also be able to clearly articulate why that's the case. So reviewing and assessing with all of these are really, really powerful. So, but again, as I said before, there isn't one right answer to any of these and how you use them, but you want to think about time and what is your most efficient use. And the fact that we're going to want to use multiple opportunities that incorporates talking and writing. And so that students are actually being able to apply their understanding. So if they are activating their knowledge in one tool, and it might be something completely different, and then developing their vocabulary with through Frere model, for example, and then assessing it a few days later with concept circles or semantic feature analysis. So they are able, and then using that to help them use the vocabulary effectively and appropriately in a writing assignment. So we have multiple ways of integrating different language arts components through the use of vocabulary instruction and in multiple disciplines.